very proud of the guys. This has been very difficult. I hadn't been through something like this before, and clearly most of them have not either. Baumeister was what we see in spurts, but then the spurts were combined and extended. I thought he was phenomenal, and the starting pitcher provides a spark that can help the offense. I think we saw that today. Like the way that starting pitcher goes out and commands that first inning, it brings a dimension of confidence and kind of a level of we're in control of this game into the dugout. And I think then you go bang, bang, and it's 2-0, but I felt like it really started with the starting pitcher, and that's what you want starting pitchers to do. That might be his 10th career start, and this is still somewhat fresh for him and new. I mean, there's guys that have started 50, 60 college games, and I've seen him string it, but I hadn't seen him string it like he did today. I thought his fastball was great. The big breaking ball was clearly in play, and he could expand down with it, did a nice job. He expanded in and out, expanded up a little bit, and his changeup was in play. Not as much with the slider, but phenomenal, in control of the game, and that's what you ask your starting pitcher to do. And we had enough offense. The extra base hit was in play. Jaime, that was clearly big. Tibbs was big. Diamez, as you guys are seeing him starting to come back into form. And I'm really proud of the effort. We were razor thin in the bullpen today, and we did not have many options. We thought we had it lined up where Arnold could face the lefties, and if we had to get it to Kirkland there in the middle and at the bottom, we thought we'd be good. Monty, there was a nice look from him to finish that game. And Rank to come in and go to right field and make the catch in the 8th inning, I think that was, when we were in the mess that we were in. That was a huge play in the game.
You mentioned thin in the bullpen. Is that part of the reason he went back out for a 7th inning at 95 pitches? Or was that kind of just how you felt good about him going for another?
It was a combination, yeah. And it's a shorter week for him. Like, obviously, we bumped this up. So that was a concern. And to be honest, he probably could have kept going, but Chuck felt, and I agree, that was probably enough. And we were at a point where it kind of lined up for Arnold. But we talk about self-contained relief, and today was a perfect example that the 5th inning, if you're going to start and be an elite starting pitcher, you're going to have to deal with some moments that almost require you to relieve yourself and get out of a mess. And he did that in the 5th, and I thought that was a pivotal part of the start and probably secured this for us, because it would have been a different look if we had to go to the bullpen in the 5th inning with what we have available.
Did you feel a collective exhale in the 8th, or even after you won the game in the 9th? Did you feel some kind of gigantic relief throughout the dugout? Because you said that you've never been through anything quite like this before, and I'm sure that they haven't either.
Yeah, it was. It was a relief, because this has been very difficult, and we're asking a lot out of these guys. They're giving us a good effort. We're learning. These are some young guys that are filling roles right now. Some of them for the first time at the college level. Some of them been in college but not in the roles they're in. So this was a tough stretch. The schedule was, I don't know where our scheduling ranks in the country, but it has to be one of the most challenging. So when you have that young group that goes into these places we've had to go play and see some of the things we've seen, it did start to mount. So yes, there was an exhale, but we have to keep playing better. If we can continue to get starts like this and produce enough offense and play clean, which we weren't completely clean today, but it was clean enough, there will be more of this. If not, then it's not high enough level baseball to beat the people we're going to have to consistently beat. So this was great, but you also can absorb, like, when you do it right, this is what it should look like. And we've also seen cases where we haven't. And I think a lot of that is the youthfulness combined with the challenges of what the schedule has been out of the gate.
You've talked about sequencing being the next step for J-Bond. It seemed like late in the outing, fastball, curveball sequencing was really well. Just how pleased were you to see that?
It was great. And he cherishes the competition. You can see it. but you still have to execute, or else you're not really pitching per se. You're searching for strikes, or you're throwing what's working. But when you can start to go to either side of the plate, or off either side of the plate, throw a secondary pitch for a strike, and expand the secondary pitch in a quality lane, that gets you going. Then you bring the third pitch into play, the changeup, which I think he threw, I don't know, 5 or 6 to some of the lefties. Then that adds a whole nother thought process for Clemson's hitters. He pitched. Obviously he was pitching, but he was really pitching through this start better than I've seen him.
It's almost like he can manufacture runs almost by himself to some degree.
Yeah, the poor guy. I talked about it Tuesday, I think. He told me Tuesday, he's like, Coach, I can actually squeeze the bat. And I didn't realize how it wasn't hurting. It was just the range of motion when you have that thing going on. So he's going to be an elite dynamic player. He can really run the bases. And I know the bunting right now is, I don't know that I want any part of that, but it's part of the game that he'll get back to. And you can see his jumps and ranginess out there. He's a good player, so it's good to have him back, and it's good to see him looking like he did the preseason, the fall, and at TCU. I mean, he faced some tough arms and did a great job, so now you're starting to see a little bit of that again.
You mentioned, you guys needed this win. Now you got a quick turnaround tomorrow. How do you make sure there's no hangover from this game to make sure you guys get back and get ready to play tomorrow?
I don't worry about that one bit. I don't. These guys know what they're dealing with. They're going to be just fine, and you have Whitaker going, so you hope you can get another good start, and then we'll sort out what we have to relieve him if needed. So the guys will be great. Like this was good. This was something we desperately needed. I'm not telling you anything you don't know, so I don't worry about. I worried about the hangover from some of the mounting losses more than I do. I hope they're going to be excited tomorrow for the first time in a while to kind of have that vibe going again.
There were a few instances on the basis of running into outs. Is there a heightened sense of aggressiveness to put more runs across, or is it just getting at reads? Or
one of them was a hit and run. We were in a 2-1 count, and we were trying to get Holbrook going a little bit. And Gordon, I guess, he throws a lot of strikes. So that was something we were going to find a moment to try to do, to try to kind of jumpstart some things. That was an out on a steal. I think Jordan Williams just got a little excited. That ball wasn't in any way getting past the pitcher, and even if you make an initial break, you can get back to second base. That guy's not looking to throw the ball to second, but if he sees you looking to advance, obviously it's something he'd regroup and throw to third. So that's what I remember of the 2 base running mistakes. Was there something else in there that the one at the plate?
Yeah,
when you're second and third infield in,
Yeah,
you should go on ground ball contact, because if it gets through, you're scoring both, and if it doesn't, you're first and third, and it's worth the risk right there. Yeah, and I know it looks like when you're watching, it looks like why would you try to score on that? Well, they still have to field it, they still have to throw it, catch it, and you're going to be not so far off of that if you hold your ground anyway. So it makes sense to go contact second and third in like that.
Max seems to be in a stretch where everything he hits hard finds glove, and the crews are dropping, but do you feel like he's starting to get back to the timing that you guys want to see from him?
Yeah, I feel like he's very eager. Like he's an experienced college hitter that had a lot of success in the Big 12 conference. So dealing with the injuries, this is like opening day still for him when he gets to go out there and DH. I know he caught the other day. But I think he's just trying to do a little too much right now. And he's trying to do too much. So I think sometimes he's coming out of his mechanics a little bit with the swing. We looked at it yesterday closely and showed him some things. So he's going to be fine, but we need that. There's a presence. Like there's that physical presence. There's that bat speed. He's got pretty good pitch selection. So it sure helps when we get him in there. And it's coming, but it's not where it probably can be.